So you're attempting to make a healthier version of one of your favorite desserts, but have no idea where to start. Let's fix that right now and start by replacing some or all of the butter or oil in your recipe. Before we start, the first thing you're gonna need to come to terms with is that your healthier version is not gonna be identical. When substituting butter or oil, you're gonna get some slight taste and texture changes, but if you master the ratio each time, you'll be able to turn slight into almost non-existent. Today we're gonna talk about 3 of the more common and more accessible ingredients you can use. I'm gonna give you guys the ratio I start with and the kind of desserts I use them in. Number 1 is unsweetened applesauce, which I find works best in breads, cupcakes, muffins, and cakes. Now, depending on how you like the texture of your cookies, you might consider it to work good in those too. Applesauce tends to give you a softer, less dense end result. The ratio I suggest to start with, but almost never use myself, is 1:1. This means if the original recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of butter or half a cup of oil, you would use 1 tablespoon of unsweetened applesauce and 1 tablespoon of butter, or 1/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce and 1/4 cup of oil. The reason I say that I almost never use this ratio is because I don't mind the compromise in texture for something that has a ton less calories and fat. I usually start by replacing all of the oil or butter at an even trade, and if the result I'm looking for isn't there, then I'll add 1/4 of what the original recipe called for in oil or butter back in. Number 2 is avocado, which, like unsweetened applesauce, also works great in breads, cupcakes, muffins, and cakes. Personally, I find that avocado works best in chocolate desserts. They just seem to mask the taste of avocado much better. The safe bet ratio is the same as unsweetened applesauce, which is 1:1. So half a cup of butter or oil would be 1/4 cup of avocado and 1/4 cup of butter or oil. The ratio I prefer to use and have never had one issue with in a chocolate flavored dessert is to completely replace the butter or oil with equal parts avocado. The majority of the time that I use avocado, I almost always like the end result better than the original recipe. The moistness you get from avocado is key. As a tip here, I will say to make sure that you mash up or completely process your avocado into your recipe. Number 3 is Greek yogurt, which I have found to work great in everything. The great thing about using Greek yogurt is that although plain fat-free Greek yogurt works great, you also have the option of using flavored Greek yogurt to change up the flavor in your recipe really easy. I don't suggest completely eliminating butter or oil when using Greek yogurt like I do with the previous 2 ingredients, but the standard 1:1 ratio works great in everything I have tried. The most important factor here is that trial and error is your best friend. You'll mess up and sometimes you'll hit the lottery, but once you hit the lottery, you'll have that with you for life. Don't be scared to experiment and try different substitutes with each recipe you try. If a recipe's batter looks too dry, add in some more liquids to the recipe, and if the batter looks too wet, then add in some more dry ingredients to the recipe until you think you've hit that sweet spot. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what other ingredients you guys like to use to substitute in the comments below. Smack that thumbs up button if you like this video, and of course, stay healthy.